Before we jump right into all of the training, Stephen has a story to tell about how he fired my company at one point and why he had to fire my company, and now he's back. So, Stephen, you can take it from here, boss.
Yeah, the firing, I don't know, but I had actually hired. I followed Tony for about a year and a half. I just wanted to see what he was up to, and in being in the industry or in any business, we've all had SEO guys come by and tell us they can do all this stuff and taking money from us, and we don't get any results back, or we don't understand what their language is, and just very difficult. And I'm sure somebody out there has experienced that and spend maybe 5, 10, $30,000 or even more, and not actually gotten anything back, and just don't understand what's going on, and know the phone has an increased ringing, and just a lot of chatter. So in our industry, we just want to go to work, and we think we're paying for something we just want to return. But I had actually hired Tony after following him for about a year and a half, to see what he was up to. And I really liked what he was doing, what he represented himself and his company, what this growth he was doing. The firing was actually due to a medical thing. I hired Tony one day, and I think it was the second or the third day I had to call him back. And I said I'd learned from my doctor I'd gotten cancer, and I'm going to be very sick for a while, and I have to have some treatments, and I'm just not going to be working for about a year, and I'm just unable to. I believe, if I can recollect correctly, either I gave Tony $3,000 or $5,000 to get going. Tony immediately returned my money within less than 20 minutes. I didn't actually ask him to do that, but he did that in a very honorable way. And I'm just very happy that I'm still here alive today. Thank God. If that offends anybody, I'm sorry. And I'm cancer-free, perfect. And I just want to say one thing. What attracted me to Tony and his company was the fact that he was a real service plumber for 15 years, worked for a very large company that has all kinds of tricks and trades of how they do things in a corporate world. And the fact that he was a converted plumber to a real good SEO guy, and he really knew what he was doing. So anyway, I am back with Tony again. I'm in a position where I had an incident with Google. We all know what they can and can't do. And they don't answer a telephone. They don't have an email, and just makes it impossible for us guys that are actually working out there every day to figure out how to communicate with that company. Anyway, so I want to say anything, if anybody takes anything out of this conversation, we've all had and hired a coach or hired some kind of a mentor, and we may have had to run in a situation where we'd felt the services weren't correct and wanted our money to be returned. And then we have to go through this credit card argument with the companies, and it just becomes a legal fiasco, and end results that, we just don't get paid back. And I just want to say honorably, Tony G is right up there on top of anybody I've ever dealt with in my life. I'm 60 years old today. And I just want to thank you and your family again, Tony, because that was the most honorable class act thing that anybody could have done. And it was record fast. Okay. And anyway, but I'm very healthy. I'm back, and I'm wanting to grow again. And I am so pleased because I did not know you had all this extra stuff going on. And once we got to looking yesterday, I was just so happy because there's all those tutorial videos that I'm just like, God, I wanted that stuff. I need that stuff. I want to know that. And that's the best thing is not just watching these tutorials. I can go back and I can actually talk to the guy, and I can reel and touch it. We can get things, and he can furthermore help me. So it's like the least of my worries, just like my best employee I've ever had. This is the guy, the least problem I have to worry about. Get it always done. Takes care of the customer. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm sorry I'm rambling. I'm trying to hold back. It's a really emotional deal because there's nothing more important to me in my life in a circle of trust of having a guy like Tony G in my life. It's like I could just take on the world now. I mean, I could just go and do it on my core of my business, which I'm good at. What Tony does, I have no clue. I always felt about like the SEO stuff. If I actually sat down and studied everything and figured it out, by the time I did that, what I would learn would be obsolete. And I don't have the drive to spend all night long up after I'm working all day, than to spend all night up looking and reading and trying to figure out the SEO thing, because there isn't a school you can go to. You can't drive up to Stanford and go, here, sign me up. I'll be in class every day. I'll learn everything. It's just that's what my ignorance was. I could not keep up with the SEO stuff. I don't have the techie drive to do that, and my interest level starts out that it's not interesting to me. So I kind of put up, the blinder, we'll say. So the relief factor of him doing that for me and that trust is unbelievable. Okay. I mean, it's like, I can't even explain it in correct terms. You kind of got me a little off guard with that question, and without me, going and tearing up. But yeah, I'm hoping I'm expressing myself to anybody. And please, if anybody ever wants to reach out, I'm always available. I answer my phone 25 hours a day. You know how that is. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Stephen.
No, thank you.
Yesterday when we talked on the phone, I ain't gonna lie, I teared up a little bit over the whole story that you told me about, and I just had to share this with everybody, and also share some of your skills, which is going to be accounting for plumbers. You've been running business for a long time. The decades have passed, and men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So we're gonna set aside, if you're a plumbing business owner and you're watching this video right now, let us know where you're watching from. I'm now in Texas. Stephen, where are you located? Let them know.
Northern California.
So we're like way over there. I got guys in California, all over the United States. If you're watching this, let us know the name of your company and let us know where you're located. So Stephen's going to jump right into it. And we have some really killer topics. I'm digging them. I think that you're going to.
I'm not just a plumbing owner. I went to Stanford. I have an MBA.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so even more credibility. He's almost ready to drop the mic, this guy, right?
No.
He's going to give us some good information, right? So tell us a little bit about.
It's kind of funny. I was in your group, the one I joined yesterday, and then I saw this. You did a post, and it was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I wonder, who's going to be on there. And I saw my name. I'm like, oh, no.
That's good.
I'm not in Hollywood, so I'm like, oh, no, what am I going to do,
That's okay. You have the right experience. You've been in the industry for decades. You're obviously educated. So let's get right into the training to talk about accounting for plumbers and some of the best practices. When it comes to a break-even formula, what is it that you, what is your best recommendation when it comes to that topic, a break-even formula?
First, start out with a clean piece of paper. And I calculate it really simple. I do a 25-day a month, okay? I know we all work longer, but if you operate on the 25-day calendar, meaning that's, 5 days a week, obviously, and you break down your actual cost. I mean, like when I say cost, I mean, what is it going to cost you to have no calls or to go out? Meaning, what is your phone bill costing you, your truck payment, your insurance, your liability cost, everything going on. And you have to understand what that number is. And if it's $150, if it's $200, if it's $5,000 a day, if you don't make that money by the end of that day, you're going to have to carry that balance over in a negative and go over the next day and figure out how you're going to make it up. Numbers are, if anybody ever wants, the best thing advice I can give you, besides your skill, but you've been trained, is numbers. Numbers has to be your number one best friend. You have to drive your life and your business by numbers. If you don't, you're going to have some really horrible situations happen, okay? I don't care how much money you're making. You can make more and squeeze more by knowing your numbers and understanding what's really going on, okay? And it's real simple to have that formality of the 25-day work deal because it works out really well. So if you wake up in the morning and you have to make $500 just to break even, you're going to understand that. You're going to understand that by driving your calls, your sales, what you're doing, everything else. And anything you don't make that $500, now if I only made $400, that's $100 to the next day. I'm going to have to wake up and accumulate, and I have a $600 burden tomorrow.
Okay. That's true. You always got to watch that, right? So now, is there a specific, can we get a little more detail? Is there like a formula? I know you add up all of your overhead and you got to consider it and stuff, but can you get a little more detail in regards to this topic?
Yeah, the formula and the cost factor is, number one question I would ask, do you truly understand your labor burden? And the labor burden is, the actual, not just the cost what you pay the guy. It's an actual cost, what it's costing you to formulate that worker actually working from your overhead costs converted in there. So example, if you have an office space you're renting and what your commercial liability insurance is for the truck to actually be on the road a day, all the other contributing factors besides the, employment taxes you have, the workman's comp tax you have, any other incidental expenses you're, adding in there, like 401k or, some special insurance or, Hollywood, holiday pay, if you're actually, given days off, you're paying, that goes into your labor burden cost. You have to truly understand what that actually costs you to have that tech out there. Okay. So you have to understand that, because it isn't like taking a bunch of money, throwing it at the door, and some of it bounces back and it's okay. So yeah, that from it's really detailed understanding that, but that's easily to understand if you understand all your actual true costs and how to divide it out. Okay. So yeah, and you're going to have to put it per man and understanding what that cost is there, because those are burdens that are going to be carried over. Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's good word, brother. I do appreciate it. Our next topic is tracking your return on investment, which is abbreviated for ROI. What's some of your best practices for when tracking your return on investment?
Well, the first question I would ask is, one, are you operating your business with borrowed money? Because if you're operating your business with borrowed money, then you have that factor of interest and everything else, what penalties are, incurred with that factor. Meaning, example, is that do you actually have an investor? Is he getting a percentage of your business, or did you actually go out and get funds and paying back interest? Okay. So then your return on your investment is not just what, that money you actually borrowed, that factor, that burden in there is going to be what you're having to pay that investor back or that bank back or something, that interest level. And then also with that is you have a contributing cost of accounting to that, because you have to now have that divided in everything else. And those are another burden that you have to, contribute to, because the accounting is everything that costs money.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then I would ask some more detailed question, like example, what are you trying to get with your money that you put into this company? What is your return investment you're trying to accomplish? What are you trying to do with it? Then we need to understand those numbers, and we derive from what we need to go, how we're going to accomplish that idea. Okay.
Okay, cool. And one way I personally like to track ROI is I'll grab all of my marketing budget and I'll add that number up, and then I'll grab the results from that campaign and I'll see how much money that made me, and then I'll do some math. And then I'll say, okay, hey, for every $1 I put in, I got $3 back. And then it's something, maybe it's a test for 2 weeks, maybe it's an ongoing campaign for a month, but I always love to see how much dollar per dollar that you actually make. And that's one of the topics that we have inside of the online, the course that we're selling here, the plumbing business. It's actually called www.plumbingbusinesscoaching.com. There's a formula in there that I've created throughout my own company, because I have to talk to so many plumbing business owners about return on investment. And so I came up with the formula. Hey, for every dollar that you put in, you get so many dollars back. So I'll give you an example. I did this math with like John's Plumbing, and for every dollar he was giving me, he was getting $8 back through SEO. Right. And for every dollar he was giving me for like Yelp ads, he was getting $4 back. And so we found out that SEO and Google Maps is giving them a bigger return on investment. It just takes a little bit longer to get the gears going versus immediate ads versus, organic SEO. So it's not always apples to apples when you're comparing different marketing channels and you are trying to capture your ROI. There's a lot of moving parts in the business. There's a lot of shit going on. There's drama. There's putting out fires. There's a lot of greatness to the company. There's good stress. There's bad stress. As a business owner, we wear a lot of hats. And I think it's very important for us to set time aside to make sure that shit doesn't get away from us. Because if we don't know our numbers, then we're really just, what do they call it? Pissing in the wind, or, shooting the dark. So the next topic I have for you, boss, is money management, right? And this is like a general term, right? Money management. There's like for parts, there's payroll, there's advertising. what is a good general rule of thumb when it comes to money management for a plumbing company that provides service and repair, residential and commercial?
This is kind of a generic statement, but you have to understand the actual true meaning of cash flow.
Okay.
And you can never save enough, because you are going to have this rocky road. You're going to have your highs and your lows. You have your downtimes, your good times. You're going to have, problems. You're going to have, things that customer didn't pay, some kind of, situation or litigation or something. And never, 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 never treat your business as an ATM.
And that goes for the wives as well.
Yeah. Cut the card.
Here's
Cut
to
the
all
card.
the wives out here.
Cut that card. Cut that card.
I got mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Cut them cards. But yeah.
Okay.
And when I say you can't save enough, you just can't. Okay.
No.
You
So
just can't.
You just can't, right? So watch your money. What have been some of the things that you've implemented into your company that has helped you with money management? Is there like applications that you like to watch your finances on? Do you and your wife go over this stuff every week, every month? Like, what are some of the strategies that you perform personally when it comes to money?
We do go over everything once a week, okay, in detail. I'm more fine-tuned. I actually look at it every day because I need to understand everything. And we track everything by job or whatever situation it is, just because that's important. It's not just important for money management. It's important to understand what could have been better or something. Did the tech not have the right equipment on the truck? Did not have the right supplies? I mean, are we doing stuff that's ridiculous? And, like a skill saw breaking and running down to Home Depot and buying one, it's not just $175. It's the time factor that he's not able to billable hours. He can't get that out doing something else. So I learned years ago, I'll buy 2 skill saws. I always have backups. I built everything on backups because things do break. I don't care the best model you buy, it does break. It's just a question of when it's going to break. And then the factor is, am I going to send some guy to stand in line at Home Depot and waste 2 hours or hour and a half doing something when I could have had him, billable out in a couple of different jobs? I don't know, and it might have been that one special customer dialing everybody in the phone because they have this water leak and we couldn't get to them because we got a guy getting a skill saw, Sawzall at Home Depot, getting in line, all that stuff. And because the customers that potential customer just start dialing for dollars, what I used to call it, they just start calling everybody till someone tells them yes, now. Well, we couldn't lie to them. We don't do that. So yeah, I'll be right there now, an hour later, so yeah. And that could have been a $10,000, $20,000 job for a stupid $200 tool.
It happens. I think we've all seen some crazy, something like that in and out of our business. Things happen, right? That's really interesting. So let's see here, the next topic. And before I get on to the next topic, I just want to mention, we have some people watching. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to actually one of my cousins, Editor Go. He owns Go Plumbing out of San Diego. Give him a little shout out because I mentioned earlier, let us know the name of the company, where you're from, San Diego, so shout out to my family in San Diego watching these videos. Appreciate you, cousin. Andrew Patrick, he's loving this video right now. Thank you, bro, for watching. And let me give you a quick shout out. If you have any questions, anybody have questions, throw them in the comments. I can see them now. We're going to be on here for like 10 more minutes, maybe 15 more minutes. If you guys have any questions about any of these topics, throw them in there. And I have another question real quick for everybody watching this video. How often are you checking your finances? Is it monthly? Is it weekly? Is it daily? Is it hourly? Are you waking up in the morning and rolling over and checking your bank on the phone? I think we've all been through that, right? Are you still doing that? How are you predicting your finances? I have gotten my company to a point where I can predict my finances. I remember when we hit the goal of making $83,000 a month, and then my next goal was $100,000 a month, and I had to figure out how to get to the next level. And now we have 25 employees that work full time, and so that's how I got myself over $100,000 a month. And it's been a blessing. So I want to give another shout out to Christy, Maddie. What up? How you doing, sister? Thank you so much. She's watching in from Los Angeles, one of my favorite cities in all of America, the city of angels. I got a chance to live there and plumb there for about 4 years, doing service and repair out there. So shout out to all the guys. If you're watching this video, let us know, how often are you refining and checking your finances? Daily, weekly, hourly, monthly? Let us know. Quarterly? How do you handle that? The next topic, one of my favorites, is taxes. Taxes. None of us really love paying them, but we all gotta pay that shit, and we don't really have a choice. So, I have a quick story to tell about that. I had a bad experience in my year one with my tax guy. I paid him to do my taxes and do my accounting and stuff throughout the whole year. And at the end of the year, came to find out he wasn't doing shit. He put it all till the very end, and then he was scrambling for deadline right before taxes were due, and then his numbers were off, but yet I was paying him every month. That really, really made me mad. I eventually had to fire him. I hired another one that cost me twice as much, and then they had to charge me money to fix all his shit. So my recommendation when it comes to taxes is don't mess around with it. Get yourself a CPA, an accountant that will just take care of all your numbers. They're not crazy expensive. It is a monthly service. So don't stress on that stuff too much. If they're charging you 400 or 600 bucks a month or whatever that case may be, that's just a few hours of work for you guys. Don't be tripping on this money. Like, you're going to spend it on dinner with your wife somewhere else. Trust me. Just allocate money towards hiring the right people to help you with your taxes. If you're a tax guru, I guess you can handle it yourself. I'm not, so I just hire an expert to do it for me. I schedule appointments. It happens great for me. And, the first accountant was always trying to make it seem like I was making less money so I can save on taxes. But when I went to go finance something, I didn't have much buying power. So don't always try to bring your taxes low, because your finance power is going to be shit. So on year 2 and 3, now we're in our 4th year, we started making way bigger money, and I'm paying big bucks in taxes, which is one of the reasons I moved from California to Texas. Woo, woo. So I'll leave that right there. I want to hear your story about taxes, and what are your best recommendations when it comes to taxes for a plumbing company that does service and repair, residential and commercial.
Best advice I have is, no matter who you go with, what accountant, CPA, hire the second one to audit the first one.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, that's true. That's how I busted the other guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you go with a company because of price, but you really wanted to go with the other company, but they were just maybe out of your budget. Okay. Hire that second company that you really thought you wanted to have them audit what the first she was doing. And you want to continue that. You want to continue that forever. And if you get past a certain growth point, then have the third person, third auditor in there. Okay.
That's quite a bit. A third one? Audit to audit to audit. Yeah,
because you're gonna get 3 gurus with different ideas, and now you're paying for all of it, and you're gonna get in a better spot.
Yeah, that's true. When I had the audit done, it saved me $30,000. I was tripping. I was like, 30 grand. This guy, imagine if I would have just accepted it, did my taxes, not really dug into it. After I started paying big bucks in taxes, my financing power went up. Now I'm financing whatever I want. It's the bomb. So credit is huge. Taxes, credit, you don't stay there. I hear business owners saying, well, I don't want to put nothing on credit. I pay it off cash. I don't know how much I agree with that. If you got it, you got it, but why not leverage somebody else's money? People did that with the
I put the accounting people on what I call performance-based pay. I mean, an example, if the accountant wants $300,000, $500,000 a month, the second one wants, a third of that or whatever. If you find something wrong, I'm going to give you a bonus.
Cool. So
they work hard, and I'll give that to them in cash.
And I know I see people doing this with marketing too. We have been audited, And I mean, earlier in the beginning stages, I learned a lot through these, things. And now I get audited, and it's very impressive shit. So,
Well,
any other recommendations for taxes?
when you say credit, Tony, I own the world's oldest credit repair company in California.
Really? That's
Since,
amazing.
since 1991.
Well, if you own the biggest credit repair company in California,
Oldest.
the oldest. You're old, bro. You're just old.
Yeah, I started that company in 1991.
So do you still own it?
I do.
So if anybody is having credit problems and maybe needs to fix their credit, where should they be going? Like, what's your website name, or how could they get a hold of your company?
My name of my credit company is called Mr. Credit Clean, and the Mr. is spelled out Mister.
Well, there you guys have it. A plumber that will fix your credit.
And anybody who challenges the 1991, I send them to my local county. They can look up my fictitious business statement, and they can find that exact date, February 2nd, 1991.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations on that, Bubba.
It's been a really interesting business. It's, we've helped out tremendously a lot of people. I've been in some really bad situations.
Yeah.
And
I was one of them. I used to have bad credit, really bad. I was like in 588. Now I'm like 750 plus.
Yeah.
It's the bomb. But I had to pay for a bunch of stuff and like grow. You got to strategize with that. But credit's not on the, let's talk about the next topic here, which is going to be the formula to know your numbers. What do you use? Like, is there, how often are you going over your numbers? What is your best practices when it comes to knowing your numbers in general?
I go over them daily, strongly, once a week. And of course we have our monthly tidbits, it's just important. It drives everything. That's really the drive of it. Without it, we're sunk in the wood. So I don't care how good you are, but I'm telling you, you have to drive it by the true cost of numbers.
Are you using like software? Are you like jotting things down on paper? Are you like, what do you do?
We use various different softwares, and I can share that at a different time. But yeah, it's just it's all the time. I have it live. I can see everything. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well,
guys, I can do a profit loss on a job right now. I mean, if you went on to the service call this morning, I know what that is right there.
Let's do that real quick. Let's do that. Let's put together. Let me put together a service call. You want to do an audit? Actually, I'll let you do it since you're really good at it. I'll let you put together the perfect scenario. How would you break that down? Give us a good scenario, and how would you do that? How would you do
that? Okay, the factors are going to have to be to your contributing costs. It's going to be example, understanding your total labor burden, what that truck is, you put them in, what the cost is for the mileage, to get them out. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's a long list because, we don't just say the payment's $500. We have the maintenance issue to that also. So we start accumulating by the mileage. Okay, so if we add 13 cents onto that, that's when it's going to take to maintain that vehicle for service repairs, maintenance, tires, brakes, whatever's going to happen. So there's a lot of numbers that need to go into that.
So it's important for the guys. I always tell the guys, like, line item this stuff, do a brain dump, put it on a piece of paper. It's okay. Once you get it on paper, then put it in your software. You got to do a brain dump,
Sure, by far. I mean, I'm so surprised not surprised. I have coached and mentored some very successful contractors. But when we start defining out the true cost and experiencing it differently, things change because it's like, I'll give you an example. Flat tires, okay? We call them a $250 problem. Your employee runs over a nail or something, that's not just the time it's stopped. Everything contributes because now he has to stop, change the tire, call the service truck, something, and it's all this downtime. So yeah, now we teach him to start looking for nails or different things we're looking for, so we don't run things over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's $250.
But it's back to the mentality of numbers, So when it's like, okay, I years ago started, we had an older vehicle, we're going to, get rid of it, buy a newer one, something. We get rid of it. Then I start keeping them because things will break and they go down. Now I have an older service truck. We just put it in the plate, swap out the tools, get it running because a vehicle down, I don't care what size company, if you have one truck or 100 trucks, you need backups.
Yeah, that $250 tire starts costing you $150 an hour minimum, or whatever your rate is. That's the way to think about it. So don't be tripping on 250, right? I don't think many business owners are tripping on little money like that, but you gotta acknowledge it, account for it. Just because it's not a ton of money, like, it all adds up, right? So guys, the next, I have those are the topics for today. I have a question for Stephen. Stephen, when you joined my coaching program for plumbers,
sorry. Yes.
Okay. When you joined my coaching program, that is a business coaching for plumbers, or you can find it at plumbingbusinesscoaching.com. You went through all the topics and all the modules and the training videos. What are some of your favorite training modules that you ended up finding inside the plumbing business program that you recently joined?
The ones that were really entertaining to me or exciting were the things I didn't know. Like example, the Google listings, the Google map, real secrets of the map, the Google guaranteed section, pay-per-click stuff. It's just, you have to understand this stuff, and to get that valuable information from you, that was like, Chris is great. I almost wanted to stop everything I'm doing and go study this and not stop till I come back, But anyway, I was up at 2:00 this morning with a clogged main line, but yeah.
Nice. One of my favorite calls.
Yeah. So, it was really, it was an impressive list, detailed, and a lot of valuable information. And a lot of it, I just can't wait to dig my hands in it.
And that's the beauty is these are training videos. I got it up on my screen right now. These are all the training modules. Some have videos, some have formulas, some have content, some have resources, right?
Yes.
And as I'm scrolling down here, you guys can see more of what you get inside my training program. The price on this is going up almost immediately here during the first quarter. There's a lot of guys joining this program. From guys making $3.5 million a year to guys making $350,000 a year. A little bit of everybody is inside this program. It's not just meant for the business owners. It's meant for the as well for the staff. You can there's training videos for sales training videos. You get one-on-one business coaching where you and I sit down and we talk about your business, the bottlenecks, and what could you do to move forward. And then you have an opportunity to do one-on-one, more free, not more coaching. It's not free anymore. After you get your one-on-one coaching for free, if you wanted to schedule more, it's only $500. But it's working for amazing companies like Nick Slater out of Mr. Rooter. He's on a very special program where he talks to me every single week. It's not just me and him talking, it's me and his staff. That amount came up to $2,500 a month, and he is making 10 times over within the first 60 days. And this is sales training and business coaching. If you guys want to get a taste of this and you want to gain access, I'm giving you access to gain access 3 days for absolutely free. If you like what you see, then you can go ahead and do it. So check out this quick video.
Do you own a plumbing company and need to get more organized? Have you been feeling like you need a business coach to help you? For only $350 a month, you get a one-on-one business coaching session and gain access to over 30 training videos online that will help your company grow from A to Z. This exact program has helped many companies like Mr. Rooter Plumbing 10 times sales and grow the business. Why not you? Gain free access, 3-day pass, no contracts, cancel anytime. You have 3 days to check out the program for free. After 3 days, you can charge $350 a month. If you don't like it within 3 days, you can cancel and you won't get charged anything. Zero obligation. Get plumbing business coaching to grow your company. Gain free access now.
All right, guys. So if this sounds good to you and you want to gain access to that, go to www.plumbingbusinesscoaching.com. I have a really cool surprise for everybody. I just got a text message not too long ago, earlier today. Let's see here at 11 o'clock. You can see this today. I'm like, that's kind of hard to see, but I want everybody to see this because it's just fire. Check this out. So one of the employees, this is how important it is to train your employees. One of the employees, I'm texting him from Mr. Reuter Plumbing, and I'm like, hey, I heard you sold something today. What did you sell? And he said, yeah, I did sell something. I sold a repipe. So I said, oh, that's nice. What was the initial call? And and as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see on my phone there. Can you guys make that out? Maybe not. All right. Well, the reason I'm showing you this stuff is he got called out for a leaking washer machine. And he sold a $5,600 repipe. This is not gouging people, bad sales. He says he found out he did some diagnostics, noticed that the poly lines throughout her house were shoddy. Somebody did some shoddy work prior, and that's actually what was leaking. So they gave options, multiple options, and sold that. And I actually just trained that person yesterday. So obviously he got out to a job today and he's absolutely crushing it. If you are not training your employees to handle it like that, you are missing out, guys. You're missing out. If you want access to the sales training, to the business coaching that we're talking about, go to www.plumbingbusinesscoaching.com. The price is going to go up. Right now, you can gain access for 3 days. Okay, price is going to go up. Get in there and get it while you can. Peace.